It's a rainy Sunday, and I was thinking, actually, I had a conversation yesterday with someone who's talking about writing. And so I was actually thinking today about how can we write better without the help of AI, of course, since we were talking about natural intelligence yesterday. So, how can I write better? And let's ask the cards that question today. See what they have to say. Maybe they'll give us a writing prompt that we can do today to sharpen our writing skills. So stick around for today's episode of Life's Potluck Buffet. I'm John Paulus. Thanks for joining me. As usual, on the back of the deck, I've put the Be Like a Good Novelist, Show Don't Tell, an excellent writing tip, I might add, that from yesterday. And we were talking yesterday about what content trends were going to be emerging in 2024 based on what the cards thought. So if you haven't heard that episode, check it out. And so today I'm going to ask about how do we write better without the help of AI? How do we write better just with our own natural intelligence? How do we do this, cards? Okay, so let me first do 3 casual shuffles of the cards. 1, 2, 3. And then I will give them a good shuffle to meld them together. Oop, almost dropped them. Okay, that was an interesting shuffle. All right. And I think let's see right here. Okay, I think we've got the gap of the card. And what have we got? Oh, look, it's another wild card. We drew a wild card yesterday, and I'm drawing a wild card again today. Wow, that's fun. I'm glad. The 3 wild cards are 3 great little fun exercises. And this is gonna be a great writing prompt, I think, and I'll talk about how we might use it to help our writing. So it's the 3-star wild card, and there on it are 3 of the 7 pointed black stars that are the Life's Potluck Buffet 7 pointed stars, and there are some lemon yellow dots, and there is a outline of a bowl. And the bowl and the card says, "Say what you'd like to have in this bowl. It can be anything. Now say why you choose what you did and who or what can make it appear." So actually yesterday I was talking about this and I thought of Skittles, which is a candy here in the United States where I am. I don't know if Skittles is available internationally. If you're listening and you're outside of the U.S. and you're listening to this, let me know if you can get Skittles. They're kind of rainbow-colored sugar candy. Well, they're hard on the outside. They're chewy on the inside. That's their thing. So, so I thought about that, and so, what am I thinking about today? What are we thinking about today? Well, it's a bit of a rainy Sunday where I am, and a great day for doing some writing, that's for sure. And yeah, I think that in this bowl, let's go. Let me just go with the Skittles thing since I brought it up yesterday. That was kind of predictive, and we are talking a little bit about predictive stuff yesterday. Let's think about writing about candy. And so, or in this case, Skittles. And so the idea here is that the Skittles concept, they're rainbow colored. That's part of their appeal. This gives us a tip for improving our writing, because that was our question after all. Number 1, variety. Those rainbow colors really speak to that idea of variety. And that's an important thing to writing, is that there be vividness. We talked about that in terms of speaking the other day, and the same is true with writing. There has to be a vividness, like the colors of the rainbow, and there has to be that variety where it's not just one color. At the same time, what applies to speaking also applies to writing, and there should be that same kind of good repetition. So, um, when you're writing and you repeat a lot, that's not a great thing. But when you have a repetition that is varied and says, I'm saying the same thing, but I'm saying it in a different way, that's a good kind of variation. So that is what the Skittles writing exercise is telling me, is that it needs to be there needs to be variation, and when there's repetition, like all the Skittles are the same shape, they're of different colors, and when there's repetition, it needs to be varied. So you're not saying the exact same thing again and again. And that's something that we can do with our natural intelligence quite readily. Because it's frankly, it's hard for us to write the same exact thing unless we're cutting and pasting, unless it's a copy pasta situation. We don't say the exact same thing, even though we're saying the same concept again and again. So that's good. Finally, the that sweetness of the Skittles, the candy element of it is the writing needs to give something to your audience that's a bit of a buzz, right? That same kind of like sugar high that you get from eating candy. That kind of thing is important to have in your writing, but it can't be the only thing in your writing. So, like variation, like repetition, that we'll call it the sugar high of writing that candy has, that rush has to be present only, a couple of times. It reminds me of, I think maybe Steven Spielberg or some director said this about the elements of both kind of suspense and horror. Like you can only, I forget which director said this, but you can only um, scare a person kind of once in a big way. Or if you have something that's like expected, like in Jaws, the movie Jaws, seeing actually seeing the shark or whatever, that kind of moment can only happen once. You can't, there's not multiple opportunities to do that. The same thing is true in your writing, where, and this is something that humans can do very well, is understand not it, overdoing it, overwriting in a sense, where you're actually creating suspense and like resolving it too often. That becomes really tedious. So that turns your suspenseful and taut and really good writing into a kind of like booklet or pamphlet about something, instructions or something kind of dull. So keep that in mind, that idea, that rush that you can get. Try to, and in this writing exercise, for today, write about something. Just think about what you'd want in this bowl. It could, as I said, it could be anything. Imagine there's an empty bowl, fill it with something, and let your mind fill it with something, and then write about that something in a way that has some variety. And you could even use the colors of the rainbow as a as a guide, So even you could even start like try doing headings. It starts with red and then write something. It doesn't need to have to do with the color red, but just use it as a heading. And then orange, then yellow, then blue and green, indigo, violet. Did I get that right? Is it Roy G. Biv, we say in English? Roy G. Green, blue. I always switch up blue and green, but it's green, then blue, then indigo and the violet. And then, and then write a line about whatever you're writing for each of those colors. Pick one of them to be the surprise and write a surprise in that, like we were talking about with Jaws or with the terror or suspense movies or horror. And then I think you got a really nice writing exercise to sharpen your skills and reach your audience in a way that you haven't reached your audience before. So give that a shot today, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow on Life's Potluck Buffet.